It is time for Different Beast, aka I'm pretty sure Mary's least favorite song. I don't know, that or 600 Strike, except I think 600 Strike with her at least gets the ending. I just remember, Mary, that you deeply dislike this song or find it boring or something. But yes, we have Different Beast, the follow-up to Suffering. I do know I have Jojo again, so I am excited. Beyond that, I don't remember who else is in this list. And sorry if you hear Peg panting in the background. We cleaned her ears, so she's, expressing her irritation at the fact that we had to clean her ears. That, and she may or may not have something going on with one of them, I say as I watch her. So that'll be fun to figure out. No, get me back. I know. So for Different Beasts, we have Jojo. We have Duvet Box, who was new to me last time, who we met. And then Himea. Himea is back. Those three are our different beasts, and I can't wait to get into them. I'm ready. All right, so Jojo is opening us up with a content warning for flashes, for violence, unsurprising. Shaky cam on a few scenes. Ooh, you giving me some shaky cam, Jojo. Tell me more.
Let's cut the charade. You are no wife of mine. You've been trying to take my life this whole time.
Shut up. Love that design. Again, for the sirens, so glad, Jojo, you went avian. Love the transitions that we're seeing. Again, the siren, lose kind of the mirage, if you will, that she had created for herself. We had ended Suffering, I believe, with that wonderful shot, that wonderful perspective shot on Eurylochus coming in. So this is where the crew has been hiding. I noted in watching all of the Sufferings that I was like, where the hell is the crew? The crew doesn't seem to be anywhere, which I noted was one of those things that just makes your life easier as an artist, right? You don't have to try to draw the crew. In this case, Jojo has done it so that they were hiding in, it looks like supposed to be part of the hold. One thing they could have been doing is a lot of the pentaconters, the area where you would sit and row was sort of lower, you were almost kind of in the ship. You weren't fully on deck, and you would often, so in there, they could have all been crouching down. But I love that Jojo has essentially compensated for the fact that there was no crew. We couldn't see them in her Suffering video, which, Jojo, that's very clever. Jojo thinking ahead. Of course, Jojo's thinking ahead. Duh.
I know underwater there are packs of you hiding.
Having the avian sirens and be under the water. Are there birds that can do that? Or are we thinking more flying fish are a thing, but you know what? I'm not gonna question. Jojo was like, I'm doing the fucking mythological accurate sirens, but unfortunately he mentioned them being underwater because either Jorge doesn't know what the mythologically accurate siren is or he didn't care. And Jojo said, ain't gonna stop my vision. Jojo.
I know exactly what you are. A siren.
Ooh. Is that the flash?
My real wife knows I'm not scared.
Oh, wow. Look, okay, again, look at Penelope. Look at this hair. Look at that good Greek nose. She's weaving. I love it. I like this hairstyle quite a bit, actually. Is it accurate to the Bronze Age? It's not fully inaccurate. I've seen, at least on some illustrations, a similar style. So actually, you know what? Totally fine. Again, the clothing, not totally right, but this is I'm not even nitpicking, I'm just noting shit. The Penelope's gorgeous. Love.
The water.
Oh,
and my real wife knows I don't have a daughter.
Oh, he's watching his mom doing the
But while you were so focused on turning my men into snacks,
where's his facial hair?
You didn't notice that your friends got snatched.
What?
We are a different beast now.
Again, we talked about this in the Suffering video. We're in a low angle looking up at him. He's looking down at us. He's the one in power. He's the threat. I was going to say that I love that bit with Telemachus and Penelope with the weaving. Obviously, she would not have started her weaving trick quite yet. This is far too early in the story for that. You got to give or take another handful of years. Because we know the Soothers have been there for, according to the Odyssey, it seems they are in there for 3 years. I think I read a later source that said it was 3 to 5 or maybe 5. So we'll go with 3. So the suitors aren't there yet. But weaving is a womanly activity, is what they believed. It's part of how Penelope is able to get away with that trick, because she essentially uses the gender roles and relative misogyny of the age to her advantage. Penelope's smart girl. But so she would weave regardless. Like, this doesn't have to be the weaving trick. She would weave. It's a thing women did. It was very common.
We are the ones who feast now.
Oh,
no
the crew coming closer.
Cause we won't take more suffering from you. We are the man-made monsters. We are the ones who conquer. You are a threat no longer. We won't take more suffering from you. We've been
Damn, that's dark. I love that. Okay, look, I'll be real. I don't know enough about how people fought on Pentaconters. Now, Pentaconters of the archaic age going into the classical age, you did much more combat on the actual Pentaconter itself, on the actual boat. Now, the Pentaconters of the Bronze Age, we know they did not, because the Pentaconter went through a handful of design changes and adjustments for over the course of hundreds of years. Makes sense. Duh. So at the Bronze Age, they literally were transportation only. You were not doing ship-to-ship combat. It was, if you were going to fight another group of people who were on a ship, you were going to land those ships and then fight on the land. It's pretty much how they did stuff. So, what they're doing here is very advanced, and I'm not entirely sure if it would be possible in a Bronze Age Pentaconter. But whatever. Like, I do a lot of whatevers here, mostly because Jojo is limited by what the song is giving her. Them. Jojo, I'm so sorry, I don't know your pronouns. Giving you. Jojo is limited by what the song dictates. We know that they're killing the... Same with saying they kill these sirens and they are underwater and the friends get snatched. Despite the fact Jojo's been like, I'm doing mythologically accurate bird sirens. And I think it looks great. The idea that, again, we have the men being hidden and they're shooting through what are almost like you would think in medieval castles where they would have these little slits which were for bowmen to defend from the height. Pretty sure those weren't present in Pentaconters. Even in the archaic or classical age, I'm not entirely sure, but I don't recall seeing any designs that have that kind of feature. Definitely would not have been a part of a Bronze Age Pentaconter because they simply weren't, like, definitely what designs we have of the Pentaconter. I call it the Pentaconter, let's say Pentaconter-esque type ship. Just, we don't have any designs that suggest they had anything like that. Again, they were really for transportation only.
been away from home for about 12 years or so. First we slayed in our own war, and now we're here with more foes.
Is that Poseidon?
While on the run from Poseidon, we found a ship with no crew. I realized nearby there were sirens singing sailors
image
to their dooms. We filled our ears with beeswax. That's how we resist your song. You pretended to be my wife, so I just played along.
Wiping away the disguise.
Scanning for information. Sirens know about every route and horizon. Now I know how to get back to my island. We are a different beast now. We are the ones who feast now. No more of us deceased, 'cause we won't take more suffering from you. We are the man-made monsters. We are the ones who conquer. You are a threat no longer. We won't take more suffering from you.
Spare us. Oh, spare us, please.
Why? So you can kill the next group of sailors in this part of the sea.
I want to say, I love how Jojo has drawn Odysseus' hair to suggest that, like, wind is constantly blowing. Again, you can create great motion, even with still images, by how you draw things like hair or cloth and clothing. So I love that. I will say, again, very much like I did on the first listen, nobody would care that he killed sirens. They're monsters. Nobody bothers. One, either they're not able to, or two, even like in the Odyssey itself, the whole goal is just get past them. Like, they're there, but they don't come and attack you. They don't come and chase you. They lure you to them, right? Saying that they are different beasts and all that shit here, it still makes me roll my eyes because they're not. Like, what they're doing would be, nobody would bat an eye. No one would even say, wow, he's so ruthless, he kills sirens. They'd be like, shit, he kills sirens? Holy shit. Damn, how do you do that? Give us the tip. Also, why did he bother if he could just sail past them? Like, and this is where we have to talk a bit about how I, talked a lot during the Underworld videos about how this is all about the change in Odysseus in the Odyssey is no distractions, get home to Ithaca. We are trying to beeline. It's why the entire encounters with the sirens, the whole thing with the clashing rocks, with Scylla and Charybdis, and the cows of Helios all happen in one book, aka one chapter, if you will. He speed runs that part of the journey because he's so focused on getting home, which is something Jorge, while I understand, wants to draw a lot of things out for dramatic purpose. I truly think we didn't need to spend time here with the sirens and do this bit, because it's counterintuitive to what the character is, even in the context of Epic, where his whole goal has been get home. Like, even the front half, they really didn't have him doing any of these dilly-dallying side quests. They moved him along and fast, and even we sped run through Circe, which I can understand elements of a time constraint, but you are losing that massive part of Odysseus' character and how the Odyssey, like, structures itself. There's a reason, like, you have all these different things that happen across multiple books, and then this bit is sped run. It's sped run because we have a different kind of hero. He's on a mission, and that mission is get home. In this case, again, he's not more ruthless also for killing the sirens. Like, nobody would give a shit. No one's gonna care. Ooh, you killed a monster. Good for you. Do you want a gold star? Do you want a lollipop? Like, come on, dude. But I am loving the expression work that Jojo is doing here, especially on Odysseus. I mean, the other crew members, also great. I also like how we have a lot of different face types, different hairstyles. These look like different people. But the looks that Odysseus is giving these sirens is so menacing, and like he's revolted by them. And he is. The fact that they used his wife to try and lure him definitely pisses him off. Now, the sirens in the Odyssey don't do that. What they say is, we will sing you of your exploits at Troy. Again, luring him with the hero he used to be. We can help you reclaim that Kleos. No, they can't. It's all a lie. It's false. Again, this is a new hero. This is a hero whose Kleos is going to be tied to his Nostos. But as I noted when I first listened, I have seen at least one old film version, and I don't necessarily recommend it, where they did similarly. He was hearing the voices of Penelope. So, like, it's not that weird an idea.
Nah, you wouldn't have spared me. I made a mistake like this. It almost cost my life. I can't take more risks of not seeing my wife. Cut off their tails! We're ending this now. Throw their bodies back in the water. Let them drown. He is a different...
Love him looking back. I was like, look back, look back. I was like, yes. I love the way the sword looks. I, again, love the bit of referencing the Polyphemus. As much as we know, I completely disagree with the idea that it's Mercy, and it just shows... Okay, look. My thing with the Polyphemus cave is the amount of scholarship you will find written on that encounter, which is book 9 of the Odyssey, is voluminous. Like, scholars have broken down that book alone since time ad infinitum, like since the Odyssey was first written down, because there's so much going on in that book. Like, I can't even begin to explain to you. So boiling it down to this, especially in the context of this world, which is technically still ancient Greece, calling it Mercy is just like, oh, no. Regardless, we are doing a callback to the Cyclops, and this is supposed to be him being different. I've already spoken my thoughts on that. But again, I love your Odysseus, Jojo. I love how just, like, strong he is.
Now, he is the one who feasts now. No more of us deceased, 'cause he won't take more suffering from you. He is the man-made monster. He is the one who conquers. You are a threat no longer. He won't take more suffering from you. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Kill them all! Kill them all! Kill them all!
Okay, shaky cam. Also, I see you with all those artifacts and the glitching, the really saturating it to red, to really just drive in the drama of the moment. In fact, you add more drama to this moment than the actual music does, in my opinion, because of what you're doing. It almost looks like if you've ever seen your screen get like a green screen or blue screen of death, where it starts like really fucking with the image of something, or like a video file is corrupted. That's what this looks like. It's so good. I love the feathers falling off them after you cut off their tails. Jojo, that's so good. I mean, and the physicality of the scene. Like Jojo just drives in what is meant to be the violence of the scene. Like they're clawing at the ship as they get dragged away. I mean, it's horrifying. When you consider, like, imagine these weren't bird women. Imagine these were just women. There's a lot of really dark imagery going on here in Jojo's animatic. It's something that I quite like. But I'm just like, I can't get over what you did with the colors, making it look corrupted, doing all the artifacts and the glitching, the shaky cam. Well, Jojo, making use of the editing.
Odysseus.
Keeping, ooh! Oh, Jojo. Not keeping it red, having him look to camera, bring him back to grayscale, except for his eyes that are red. Well done, Jojo. Well done. Well done. I'm once again in this situation where I think the animatics add so much more than is actually present in the musical, and that is, frankly, a massive compliment to all of you artists. Not even gonna lie. But also, Jojo, that was astonishing. I love that, because, like, I loved your suffering too, so, like, what an amazing follow-up. I have no words. There were so many things that I liked about that from an art perspective, but really also from, like, a filmmaking perspective. There were so many cool choices. But that final third is, like, especially scrumptious. Okay, now we have Duvet Box, who I do believe I did meet for the first time in the last video. And if I recall, Duvet Box was doing a cool thing where the siren was, like, part of the water. Like, we never saw the siren's bottom half, if I recall correctly. And I liked that quite a bit. So let me see their different beast. Oh, yep.
Let's cut the charade. You are no wife of mine. You've been trying to take my life this whole time. I know underwater there are packs of you hiding. Yeah, I know exactly what you are. A siren.
I love that bit with the pupils where he's looking at him and then you see that, like, the eyes go smaller. Like, he's real pissed off. There's a lot of stuff, especially done in anime, you see, like, if a character has slightly smaller irises, you often, it's like, do I trust them? Do I not? It can be used to indicate fear, anger. Like, there's all sorts of stuff that, and especially because Duvet Box is a very kind of, especially in face designs, a very kind of anime-esque style. Which is to say, like, look, there are multiple styles in anime. Again, anime is a medium, it's not a genre. And within that medium, there are tons of different art styles. But this is one that I definitely would see if I were watching anime, or even in any other animation. So, like, there's some really cool little things that Duvet Box is doing that are very, like, things you find almost always in the realm only of that is a kind of animation or visual art, which has to do with, like, what is the storytelling coding of making this artistic choice, if this makes sense.
My real wife knows I'm not scared of the water. And my real wife knows I don't have a daughter. But while you were so focused on turning my men into snacks, you didn't notice that your friends got snatched.
What?
We
Love the look back, the shadow over the eye. We do see his eye and it is very pointed. It adds to kind of this malicious feel to him. Like, he's looking back like, yeah, I fucking got you. I love stuff like that. Again, that's art shit that I eat up because I'm like, yes, storytelling, coding in the art, yes.
are a different beast now. We are the ones who feast now. No more of us deceased, cause we won't take more suffering from you.
We are the man-made monsters. We are the ones who conquer. You are a threat no longer. We won't take more suffering from you.
Interesting. So one thing I noted again, where was the crew? Here, there's a bunch of missed parts and suddenly we see the crew. I don't quite remember if that was in the suffering video. Whatever, it's dramatic. Also them throwing the net to capture, I'm assuming this specific siren, since they've said they've already snatched her friends. I I love that we're getting a really good look at the siren too. Like, there's no Penelope facade, it's just the siren.
We've been away from home for about 12 years or so. First we slayed in our own war, and now we're here with more foes. While on the run from Poseidon, we found a ship with no crew. I realized nearby there were sirens, singing sailors to their dooms. We filled our ears with beeswax, that's how we resist your song. You pretended to be my wife, so I just played along. I read your lips and phrases, scanning for information. Sirens know about every route and horizon. Now I know how to.
I really like that use of the color change, the fading through the colors, or the cross dissolve essentially is also what it also gets called, to remind us of what was happening in Suffering, which had those very bright colors, to back here where again everything is far more muted except for the redness of what I'm assuming is meant to be the sun, whether it be leaning towards closer to night or daybreak. I'm assuming it's probably supposed to be closer to sunset, especially if you're trying to read the lips of somebody, you need that light. But it's also moody. It creates a good mood and atmosphere, as this is meant to be a darker song, especially compared to Suffering. So I love that cross dissolve and fading between the two different color schemes. It's done very well.
Get back to my island.
We are a different beast now. We are the ones who feast now. No more of us deceased, 'cause we won't take more suffering from you. We are the man-made monsters. We are the ones who conquer. You are a threat no longer. We won't take more suffering from you.
Damn, there's some good imagery in here too. She's trying to go around and they're putting down swords to stop her. That great perspective shot of Eurylochus's hand coming down. There's some really great imagery going on here to really give you the sense of like entrapment, almost claustrophobia that the siren would be feeling in this moment of like, I'm fucked, I'm so fucked. I love how Duvet Box is doing that. We do have a little bit of what looks like some what we call same face syndrome, which is where you tend to draw the same kind of face. I think especially if you have a bit of an anime style, that can totally happen. And this is not a criticism, because frankly I'd be copy pasting faces. Like the fact that Duvet Box, you even took the time to like give, like really show the features of each different face. Like if it were me, I would have been like, fuck the faces, they're just gonna be faceless, or again copy paste. So this is not even a criticism, it's just something that I happened to notice, where it's like some of these characters look really, really almost identical, save for Odysseus and Eurylochus. But like, again, it's an animatic, so it goes. Like, it's not a criticism. We're back to the Suffering.
Why? So you can kill the next group.
I've just realized, because I noticed we were back to the Suffering color palette. The Suffering color palette is whenever the sirens are sort of using their voice, isn't it? Duvet Box, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I'm thinking.
Sailors in this part of the sea? Nah, you wouldn't have spared me. I made a mistake like this, it almost cost my life. I can't take more risks of not.
Okay, I know, I'm pausing a lot. Him taking the sword from somebody else. Here's the thing with weaponry in the Bronze Age. It's not like you think when it comes to, say, the Roman army, where this was a standing army, and so they essentially mass-produced your arms and your armaments, right? Any weaponry, any sort of armor and shit that you had was essentially handmade. It was personal to each individual because you were getting it somehow yourself. It would have been different quality. He wouldn't be able to guarantee just how good that sword is if he's grabbing it off a random crew member. Like, just for fun, again, this is not a critique, but this is just sort of a fun thing to know, because there weren't standing armies. Like, they didn't have an army in place, you know, each of these kingdoms. They were essentially gathering people. A lot of the people who would have gone to fought for Troy would have gone knowing they were getting paid to do it, and they'd be paid essentially in, like, war prize, like stuff you would take from winning, and where they might be going saying, hey, if you come fight for me, I will give you this amount of land or something. You were getting paid, but you didn't go because you were a soldier. The occupation of the soldier didn't really exist in Greece in the Bronze Age. This is kind of interesting thing. So I just find it funny, like, it's great imagery. It's like, he doesn't care, he just wants to kill them, he grabs the nearest sword. It happens to be some dude who's on his, you know, like, left or right. In the Bronze Age, he wouldn't have been able to tell, like, what exactly was the quality of that sword compared to his own, which he would have absolutely known. He would have had a really good sword, as he is coming from royalty, nobility. He would have good weapons. Likely better than some random crew member on the left.
Seeing my wife! Cut off their tails! We're ending this now! Throw their bodies back in the water. Let them drown.
Did you see the smoothness on that animation for the schwink? Beautiful. Love it. Love how we put extra frames in there. It looks gorgeous. The blood splattering. Makes me think of how, like, blood splatter and blood on a, like, you're showing blood on any sort of piece of art that you're doing. It always makes me think of how the film 300, which I could speak ad nauseum on why 300 is the way that it is and why it's so fascinating a film for me and why I do love it. One thing I did like about the visual approach, which please remember, when Zack Snyder came out with that film in 2005, 2006, like, that visual style was, like, revolutionary. Like, that heavily color graded, everything on a blue screen. Like, we'd never really seen a film like that before because he wanted to imitate the graphic novel by Frank Miller. Even the blood that was shown on screen most of the time was splattered like paint on a canvas. So it was so intentional the way they were making it look. Now, again, that ties into why 300 is, because of what 300 is doing, what it's doing, which is it's a guy telling a story. But that's why I love anytime people are doing, like, blood splurts or whatever. I'm like, what are you doing with it? Like, I'm curious if you decide to do something aesthetic almost with it, which sounds like a strange thing to say, I know, but that was a beautiful blood splat. It was a beautiful bit of fluid animation. The color changed slightly, the big giving it to us in a wide shot. Also, that when Odysseus is just like, let them drown, like, kill them all, essentially. We see there was a very soft gradient, but shadow, again, up in the eyes. When you darken where the eyes are, it usually means they're thinking something probably malicious or mischievous in some cases, but usually potentially kind of dangerous. And we cut her throat. Damn. That's a nasty looking wound.
Peace now, he is the one who feasts now. No more of us deceased, cause he won't take more suffering from you. He is the man-made monster. He is the one who conquers. You are a threat no longer. He won't take more suffering from you. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Kill them all! Kill them all! Kill them all!
Man, talking about blood, Duvet Box, you really played with blood here. You did work. You made that blood work, and I'm impressed. What I actually really like about the way you have decided to storytell with this song is that we have a crew member who is reluctant, who looks quite young. There would likely not have been anybody that young in his crew. The reason I say that is because he's clean-shaven. The Greeks viewed being clean-shaven as a sign that you are young, or you're a god in some cases. And most of the male gods who are clean-shaven are not the Cronades, they are the generation after, so like Hermes, Apollo, Dionysus, Ares. Hephaestus usually actually is shown with facial hair, but a lot of them are shown clean-shaven, but they're gods. Different rules apply. Young men, if you weren't getting your beard in, you weren't growing that facial hair, you were young. It was sort of just like getting that facial hair was part of like becoming a man kind of thing, which many Greek relatives, the hair growth is insane. Look, they decide if they want to wear a beard for dinner every day. Okay. So like that aside, where it's like the guy looks really young because of that. Regardless, it could also just be a style thing related to Duvet Box's style. The idea that that character is reluctant and Odysseus is repeating the kill them all and emphasizing it and killing them himself is his way of saying, get your fucking ass in gear. I like the storytelling of that. Again, I don't agree with that element mainly because I disagree with this song in its entirety because of the theme it's trying to do. And again, this is where I say, I don't think Jorge quite chooses the right points in the story to try and lean into this idea of becoming more ruthless, where again, this is not ruthless, it's reckless, it's a waste of time. It's completely in the face of like the whole point of Odysseus' mission is get home to Ithaca, and at this point it's get home as fast as possible. Like this is such a distraction he doesn't need. But that all aside, I don't put that at Duvet Box's feet because Duvet Box didn't write the musical, but Duvet Box has done something interesting with the storytelling here. I think that's a really cool way to try and drive home this idea that Odysseus is being ruthless, being very violent, just out to cause destruction and pain, right? That's a really cool use of storytelling, and again, make that blood work. Him stepping in the blood, it comes up. Just great shit, Duvet Box. This is great shit. Oh, the fucking footprints. And again, giving him red eyes. Beautiful, beautimous, gorgeous, stunning. I love the bit. Again, it seems to me like on this last third, both Jojo and Duvet Box just like popped off in the last third, which like frankly, it's the big push in the song is that final third. And so I'm glad that I'm really seeing them like, and what I'm seeing here is a flexing of some people might say it's not the most exciting animation. Like we don't have a billion frames, there's not a lot of action and movement, but the storytelling is so clear. It's so well thought out. The images that are chosen are very intentional and it has a purpose, and I think it's very striking because of that. Sometimes the best pieces of animation aren't always the most flamboyant. It's those that tell the story in the most impactful way. And like in a way you can say with some animation less can very much be more. Duvet Box, that was absolutely gorgeous. Again, I like many things that you did going, including the cross dissolves between the color palettes. Still have my question. Do you constantly go back to the suffering? Not only in the flashback where Odysseus is saying, yeah, by the way, I totally knew what you were up to, but in that bit where the sirens sing again. Is that why we go back to the suffering color palette? Duvet Box, if you ever happen to see this, that's my one real question. Because I'm curious, that's what I think, but I could be wrong. But also, again, using a random crew member to have Odysseus drive home the idea of like, let's be ruthless, let's be without mercy, let's just be violent to no end and destroy these creatures, which again, nobody in ancient Greece would care about. They'd be like, damn, okay, guess we can sail past that area with no issue. The only thing would be razor sharp rocks. That was the other part of the thing with the sirens, was they would lure you towards their rocks because the rocks were really sharp and they would wreck your ship. Again, they bring you to them. But good stuff. All right, we have our last different beast. We are back with Himea. Himea, who we saw for No Longer You. I don't think we saw for Monster, so I haven't seen Himea since No Longer You. So we are back to see Himea. I am curious to see what they'll give me of their sirens, since obviously I didn't see their suffering. I don't know if they have a suffering. So their siren design is going to be totally new to me, and this ought to be fun. Ooh.
Let's cut the charade. You are no wife of mine.
Odysseus have more hair. Looks floofy.
You've been trying to take my life this whole time. I know underwater there are packs of you hiding.
Oh, seeing them get caught. Very much the mermaid.
Yeah, I know exactly what you are. A siren.
Okay. So many things I want to say. One, the fingers coming one by one up the rock. Himea, I see you. I love that bit. That's just such a nice little detail. You don't have to do that animation. But I love it. Love that, number one. Number two, is the anglerfish the inspiration here? Because I see the little thing that dangles. Part of that being, if I recall correctly, and I am no master of marine biology, so because this could have been something I read somewhere, or I could be making it up. Isn't it true that, so female anglerfish are significantly larger than males, and they essentially eat the males, or men die upon them. The males die upon them. It's pretty wild. If I recall correctly, I could be wrong. I could have sworn I read this or heard this somewhere. Anybody who knows marine biology and knows about the anglerfish could tell me. Because if so, excellent choice. I'm wondering if that's why you chose this anglerfish design. Love it. Love it. I mean, this shot is so menacing and intimidating, and again, because we are doing the mermaid-like sirens, like, it's just kind of a neat design to see the little anglerfish thing, like, not something one might think about. But it's a nice addition. Again, we already saw the other sirens getting caught, kind of silently. Good way to already bring that in. The teeth, like, oh, this is just such a cool siren design. Other thing I wanted to note, again, like, I think my memory of Himea's Odysseus may be a little muddled. I feel like his hair has a bit more volume. I feel like there's more confidence in the lines. Not that Himea was ever not confident in their lines. These just feel so much stronger. They feel smoother. I just feel like there's more confidence in what Himea's doing, and I'm just like, Heck yeah. You get better over time. Like, one's own confidence in your ability is going to grow, and I love this. I love seeing that. I could be totally wrong. Himena could be like, nah, I already knew I was the shit, which is totally fine and valid. Absolute. Rock on, queen. This is just how it feels to me.
My real wife knows I'm not scared of the water. And my real wife knows I don't have a daughter.
I love it.
But while you were so focused on turning my men into snacks, you didn't notice that your friends got snatched.
What?
Ooh, having his eyes brighten up. So instead of adding more shadow, Himena just brightens his eyes up when he says that to say, yeah, I got you. Which makes me think of what people talk about having like a manic glint in your eye. Like you see that often written in books, and I think that's what Himena is drawing on here, where he's manic. Manic is a good way to describe what's going on here. The level of just like intensity, but the level also of just like almost erratic violence. It is kind of manic. Now, does Odysseus ever go through something like that? No. Heracles is kind of cursed by that. It's not entirely his fault most of the time that happens. Half the time it's Hera doing it to him, and he literally goes insane. So that kind of a manic glint as he becomes violent would make sense. But I love that. Again, these things that are storytelling coding within art. I love it.
We are a different beast now. We are the ones who feast now. No more of us deceased, cause we won't take more suffering from you. We are...
You know, that shot with the other sirens behind, kind of our main one, really made me think of how a lot of people drew Circe with her nymphs. One, we've given them all different hairstyles, which is kind of nice. Pop off, Himena. I see you, giving a little personality. But it reminds me of how a lot of people drew Circe with her nymphs, where she was sort of protecting them. I wonder if that's meant to be... Now, I remember with Himena, we watched Your Puppeteer, I believe. And I believe we also watched Your Wouldn't You Like? I think that was it for Circe with Himena. But that was a lot of imagery I recall seeing, and I wonder if this is meant to be a direct callback. Like if that's meant to be a direct kind of parallel, visually in some kind of way. I like that a lot.
The man-made monsters, we are the ones who conquer. You are a threat
Drama
no
cloak.
longer. We won't take more suffering from you.
We've been away from home for about 12 years or so. First we slayed in our own war, and now we're here with more foes. While on the run from Poseidon, we found a ship with no crew. I realized nearby there were sirens, singing sailors to their dooms.
Putting the beeswax in their ear. I love that little bit. Also love that I see, again, different hairstyles. It's like small stuff that, man, you don't have to put in this much effort, Himena. Working hard over here. Giving everyone different hairstyles, different crew members. Like, again, Himena, you could have been drawing them as fucking stick figures and it wouldn't have mattered because this is still so incredible. Love the look of the ship again. It looks very shallow, which I like, though I don't know how much you're having of the keel being under the water, but it looks quite shallow, which I like. And having Odysseus motion, like, yeah, and he's doing it without talking because, again, the sirens don't know that he's done this. It's a nice storytelling going on here.
We filled our ears with beeswax, that's how we resist your song. You pretended to be...
Yeah, I know, I'm pausing again. But now I'm actually looking at the sirens' skin tones, which it's almost like, the look almost reminds me of anybody who has like vitiligo or something like that. I don't know if, again, this is a reference to kind of the anglerfish look. I really show I don't know much about marine biology. Or if something like vitiligo inspired the look of these sirens. But I just think it's just a unique choice. Again, it's one of those little details where it's like, I don't think of that. But that is kind of cool. When you consider that also, you could say that they're constantly underneath the surface and above the water, like any tan lines they get would be super inconsistent. Because water on the skin is going to intensify how much of the sun is beating down on you. And so like you would have kind of like all over the place since sunscreen don't exist. It's a nice little detail.
My wife, so I just played along. I read your lips and phrases, scanning for information. Sirens know about every route and horizon. Now I know how to get back to my island.
We are
Okay, camera shifting around. I see you. But also, so much of all three of these, like the manhandling of the siren, like holding her mouth like this. There's a lot of these physically intimidating gestures, which I'm sure any woman can probably like understand the inherent violence in a lot of this, regardless of what's happening in the song. You would see this imagery and be like, ooh. But I like it a lot. It fits the song, and it's just like, there's just such, all three of these have had such a really good physicality in what the characters do.
A different beast now. We are the ones who feast now. No more of us deceased, 'cause we won't take more suffering from you. We are the man-made monsters. We are the ones who conquer. You are a threat no longer. We won't take more suffering from you.
Spare us. Oh, spare us, please.
Watching all three of these back to back, it's actually getting a little hard to watch. I understand. Okay, look, as much as I said they're sirens, they're monsters, doesn't matter. Part of the thing is that, again, the sirens make you come to them, and usually how you die is you waste away at their feet if you don't somehow drown when your ship hits against these razor-sharp rocks that are near where they hang out. They don't come to you. And again, the whole thing with the Odyssey, this particular encounter is extremely non-violent. They're luring him with their words, but no violence occurs beyond that. There's quite a few moments of added violence to the Odyssey, and it is always violence against women. And it's just being emphasized by the animatic here. Because again, as much as I say, the sirens are monsters, nobody would give a shit that you kill them. Jorge is making a point of trying to make them seem very pathetic and all of this here, and he's created this moment of added violence that's not present in the Odyssey. And trying to do it to say, look how horrible Odysseus is, because he's killing these monsters. But he's done so much to try to like humanize the monster that it's just like, it does make me feel icky, but I don't quite think of the way that he intended. Because I also then think of something like Hold Them Down, where the threats of SA against Penelope are there. And then like, it just makes me feel icky. It's also just my way of saying, Himea, you're doing your job beautifully. You're doing your job beautifully, because the way that you're drawing this, that we look down upon the sirens and they're huddled real close looking up. I mean, that's and then followed by looking up at the faceless crew members, their eyes drawn and just like scratched out white marks. It's terrifying. It's horrifying. It's a fucking horror movie. Like, Himea, you're doing your job brilliantly. This is my way of saying you're doing your job brilliantly. And it's kind of tough to watch. And I say that as a compliment.
Why? So you can kill the next group of sailors in this part of the sea? Nah, you wouldn't have spared me. I made a mistake like this. It almost cost my life. I can't take more risks of not seeing my wife. Cut off their tails! We're ending this now. Throw their bodies back in the water. Let them drown.
He is a different beast now. He is the one who feasts now. No more of us deceased, 'cause he won't take more suffering from you. He is the man-made monster. He is the one who calls.
I like the showing of only the one eye. It's a very, again, I say kind of an anime style. It's a very common thing, but it just, makes me think a little bit also of Polyphemus, Cyclops. One eye. And Bill. Rest in sheep, Bill. Wow, that's really dark imagery. Again, not a lot of motion, in terms of actually having to draw multiple frames. Like, you can draw the one image of the siren and literally just rotate the frame around. Simple. It's stark, even, is the word I'm thinking of, because we're just black, white line work. It's very stark, which I think fits what Himea has been doing in their animatic.
You are a threat no longer. He won't take more suffering from you.
Interesting we don't see him kill the last one. I thought we would, like he'd cut her head off or something as the last moment. Wow. Himea, that was really good. And especially watching it on the heels of two others, just be like, wow, this imagery is intense. It's intense. Very well done. Again, I really like your design for the sirens. That sort of, I'm going to say it's an anglerfish inspiration. I could be totally wrong, but that's what I think of. absolutely stunning. So those are all the different Beast animatics, all very different. Sirens all had very unique and different designs. I'm still just so impressed that Jojo, you did what you did while maintaining the avian design. I love it so much. So like, I'm biased because that's the classical design, but like, I love how you're just like, oh, they're supposed to be under the water. Well, my birds are underwater. What you gonna do about that? So good. A lot of the darkness that the song is trying to evoke, again, I think these animatics do better evoking it in many ways than the song itself does. In the different way that we are using camera angles to express who's in power, who's not, to create senses of claustrophobia, of desperation, of feeling very, you know, like you're boxed in, you're entrapped. Just such amazing work camera-wise. And perspective-wise, I think done in all three of these animatics. So well done. But this does mean we next are on to Scylla, or Scylla. And I am very intrigued to see people's designs, because this is where you kind of can go full horror movie. Like, we're going into the scary Wonka Scylla tunnel, and this is where I'm sure the big reveal moment that you can hear in the music after Scylla goes, hello. Like, I'm sure the animation is going to pop off and the designs are going to pop off. And I'm actually really quite excited to see them because I want to see what people bring me. So that will be next.